Got a windsock on Tower 1?
And Tower 1, just so we're clear, is that first tower?
Correct.
How high is that?
227 feet.
Not quite as exciting on a calm day.
How much excitement do you need, Johnny?
Once again, we see there's no such thing on this show as a small job, or for that matter,
Okay.
a non-essential job. All dirty jobs, no matter how mundane, present their own unique challenges, even if you're just trying to change a sock.
Mike, somebody's got to do it. But when you look at your childhood, a lot of people might not have thought it would have been you. You were a shy kid.
Well, I'm still in my childhood, for one thing, Deborah. But yeah, I was painfully shy, weirdly, up until probably 13 or 14. Had a stammer and just kind of bumbled my way through my early years until I decided it might be more interesting to be somebody else.
You talk about that stammer, and there's this kind of chance situation that happened that made that stammer go away. I always say to kids, even if you think you'll never grow up to be a professional actor, theater does a lot for you. And so you tried out for a role. Tell us what happened.
I had a music teacher, a guy named Fred King, back at Overly Senior High School in 1977, 78. He showed me that you couldn't stammer when you sang. And as it turned out, I could carry a tune, so music opened all sorts of doors for me. But then he insisted that I audition for a school play. And I memorized a monologue, and I said, Mr. King, this is never going to work. I'm never going to get through it. And he said, it's okay. Just give it a shot. Something tells me it'll be better than you think. Well, I got on stage and I started stumbling and stammering, and it was as bad as I thought it would be. And he said, Mikey, I love what you're doing with the character, but this character doesn't stutter. Stutter on your own time. Just do it the way the character would do it. And it was so glib, and I just trusted the guy so much that in that moment, I really didn't think about it. I just started reciting the lines without a stammer. And a few minutes in, he kind of looked at me and just shrugged his shoulders. And I was like, oh, okay. So maybe I'll just act like a guy who doesn't stammer. I didn't have a physiological problem. I had a mental thing going on, and he fixed it like that.
I adore you, but one thing from your childhood does concern me. At one point, you thought you were Mark Twain?
Well, I grew up in a very weird place. We had a house on a hill in Baltimore County. We had a small farm, and on one side of our property was this babbling brook, and on the other side was an off-ramp of the interstate, hundreds of yards down a hill. Sounded like the ocean. In fact, my mother told me it was the ocean. And behind us were about 60, 70 acres of dense forest. So in truth, we were only 3 miles from the city line, but I never knew it till I was 12 or 13. I lived in the woods, and I thought I was somewhere in Colorado. Felt like Mark Twain on the Mississippi.
All right. The acting thing started to take off for you to the point where you acted so well, you faked your way into the Baltimore Opera. We have to do a movie on your life. The Baltimore Opera.
It was a difficult time for me because I was pretty sure I was going to follow in my grandfather's footsteps, who built the house I grew up in without a blueprint. He was just a master fixer of things. He was an electrician, steam fitter, pipe fitter, architect. Only went to the 7th grade, but he was kind of brilliant. The handy gene turned out to be recessive, and so I got into the entertainment business instead. And thanks to Mr. King, I knew how to sing. I faked my way into the opera.
E chiasimara senti il resto al pianto scendere sacri montio devi le me grazia ricevi.
And then way leads on the way, as the poet says. And the next thing you know, I'm here talking to you.
Yeah, you experienced acting in all kinds of ways. You did something that I actually did with Kathy Levin with QVC Shopping Channel. You had to sell the pencil. Remember that?
I'd been singing in the opera for 8 years. I went to audition for QVC. I didn't even know what it was. I just wanted an actual job. He literally took a pencil, a number 2 pencil, and he rolled it across the desk. And he said, Mr. Rowe, pick up this pencil and talk about it until I tell you to stop talking. Don't stop until I tell you to. He didn't tell me it was going to be 8 minutes.
Yeah.
He just said, make me want the pencil.
I remember that. I was like, it is the color of a golden sunset, a golden sunrise. And let me tell you, we've all made mistakes in our life at some time, but look at this juicy fat eraser that makes it like it never happened.
You can ad-lib so good, Mike.
That's all I can do, Lee. I can't do it right to save my life, but I can ad-lib my way out of most of it. Well, what do you expect? It's a lava lamp. You put lava in a lamp. We're talking about molten magma out of the center of the earth. Does have a tendency to be a little warm.
And then, of course, we came to know you with Dirty Jobs, which was really a cool thing to do. And a lot of people found a lot of pride in that. You showed kind of the jobs that were so dismissed in society that we can't do without, but you elevated those folks, and they loved that.
What are we going to do today, Gene?
Well, we're going to go down to the sewers and we will inspect the sewers.
There are 900 miles of sewers in San Francisco, and there's one very good reason they must be inspected regularly. If a sewer line were to cave in, the street above it would collapse, and the city would be overrun with cockroaches, rodents, and waste.
You have Microworks Foundation, which shed light on what you were sharing earlier with your grandfather, only went to 7th grade, but he could do all kinds of things. And we forgot about the trades in this country.
I'm afraid we have. Dirty Jobs was a tribute to my grandfather, and Microworks, which evolved out of that back in 2008 on Labor Day, was an attempt to shine a light on a few million jobs, good jobs that for whatever reason nobody seemed to want.
That's not my job is a garbage mindset.
I've become addicted to accomplishments that boost my self-esteem. I believe that your past doesn't have to determine your future.
Flash forward now, once a year we give away $1 million to kids who want to learn a skill or master a trade, something that doesn't require a 4-year degree or all the debt that comes with college now, unfortunately.
You will be receiving a work ethic scholarship.
Oh my God. Thank you guys so much.
We've had great success. We've helped 1,400 people learn to weld and learn to plumb and learn carpentry and basic construction. It's been very gratifying, and I've been very fortunate to have a show that actually led to something that feels like, I don't know, an actual legacy.
60 different clients I've helped in my community.
Good grief.
And ultimately, I'm not about the money. I want to help my people. But, I've made 4 times as much in this short amount of time that I made in a year at my previous job.
People ask me all the time, what kind of people are you looking for at Microworks? The short answer is these type of
Bless
people.
your heart.
Absolutely. When we had that big freeze here in Texas, we all realized how important a plumber was. All right, now you have Somebody's Gotta Do It, the series now streaming on PureFlix. Tell folks what that series is about.
I'm Mike Rowe, and I'm on a mission to find somebody on a mission.
After 300 Dirty Jobs, it was time to wrap up that show, but I wanted to keep the party going. So rather than focus just on work, we started looking at avocations instead of vocations.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like what you do?
25.
There we go. We started looking for people who didn't necessarily get dirty for a living, but who woke up kind of agitated that the world wasn't exactly the way they imagined it could be. Entrepreneurs, people with hobbies who got a little out of hand.
I love to make things that make people smile.
People who were convinced they could make a better mousetrap, right? We started looking for those kinds of people, and of course they're everywhere. They're the neighbors we all wish we had. Great passion and enthusiasm, and I've spent years with those people. They'll make you feel better for being alive.
The guy that's easy to make friends with is the man who plays Jesus Christ.
Sure. If you can't be friends with Jesus.
Some of your other current projects include 6 Degrees with Mike Rowe on Discovery Plus, and your podcast, The Way I Heard It with Mike Rowe. At the end of the day, and you have impacted lives as we just talked about, but at the end of the day, we've got so many people trying to figure out life. And right now we have a lot of seniors. I'm the mom of a senior in high school who says, I got to figure it out. I got to know what I'm going to do. What advice do you have for those kids out there that are getting ready to enter the world, either through the workplace or going straight into college or getting out of college and going out into the world?
Who you are is more than a reflection of what you do. It's a reflection of how you do it. And look, I'm older than I've ever been, and I'm still trying to figure it out. I don't really know exactly what my business card would say if I had one, but it's a journey. And as long as you're curious, as long as you stay curious, and as long as you bring a genuine work ethic to whatever the task is, the odds of success are still pretty good. Look, back when I was in college, I didn't have this thing, right? I've got access now to 99% of all of the known information in the world. And you can take courses online for free. If you're a curious person, there's never been a better time to be alive. I know there's a lot of pressure to figure it out, to make these big decisions, but most big decisions are really just a combination of very small decisions. So I would say don't chase your passion. Bring your passion with you. Look for opportunity. Figure out a way to be good at it. Then figure out a way to love it.
Every one of those small experiences is what builds the resume for life. Mike, thank you very much for joining us today.
Anytime, Deborah. Have a great day.
The first season of Mike Rowe's series, Somebody's Gotta Do It, is available to stream now on PureFlix. For more information, log on to greatdayhouston.com for links.